Hello and welcome to episode 45 of Your Average Critics, joined by another full house today. So we've got Chris, Obi and Joe. How have you been, guys? It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
Good. Yeah? Can't complain.
No.
Living life.
That's alright.
Still breathing.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing. You had some film news for us.
I do. I got a little bit of film news.
Ooh.
So there's a couple things. So Black Panther's reached 897 million
Blimey.
worldwide in the space of 3 weeks.
That's really good.
So it is. It's already surpassed the Dark Knight Rises and Avengers: Age of Ultron in terms of domestic US domestic titles.
Okay.
I think it's at 600 and something million at the minute.
In domestically?
Oh no, sorry. Domestically, it's at 500 million in 17 days,
Wow.
and it's on track to, I think, beat The Last Jedi, but be behind The Force Awakens. Star Wars, that is.
Domestically?
Yeah.
So what would that be? 1.2 billion?
Well, with Force Awakens made over 2 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not going to get there. Though,
I'm talking about just domestically though.
Yeah,
I don't know how much they made.
Yeah.
Force Awakens made.
I don't think Marvel has as much of a backing as Alexa. Lights to 100%. There we go. I was wondering if I can see everyone.
The Last Jedi made 517 million, and Force Awakens made 742 million
Oh, right.
domestically. So I don't think it won't beat Force Awakens. I don't think, but it's definitely going to get past $1 billion.
Not convinced.
So you don't
You're
think...
not joking.
You didn't think it'd make more than 700, did you? Was
No, I
that
just said I don't think it'd make a... I'm pretty sure I only said I don't think
You
it'll reach a
said
billion.
it'll fall just short of $1 billion.
Yeah.
I'm almost 100% certain it'll break $1 billion.
Do you think some...
Jumanji's almost gotten to $1 billion. That was come out like 2 months ago.
I think Jumanji has hit $1 billion, isn't it?
I'm gonna have a look right now. But if Jumanji's gonna make it, then Black Panther's 100%.
Yeah, but then
Yeah,
I
it's just-
suppose you could say that Jumanji, like I said last time, hits a wider range maybe of...
I don't think it does.
You don't? Not that the people who used to watched it as a kid, Jumanji,
Yeah,
wanted to rewatch the second
Compare
one.
that to the amount of people who watch Marvel films. I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think there's any comparison.
Jumanji's quite a what do you call it? It's a film that people. It's a classic, isn't it? To some people. So
Yeah.
and like I don't think Marvel's maybe necessarily as big as I know
I think it is.
as
I think
Star Wars.
I think
Star Wars.
I think it's way bigger than Jumanji.
I think
It's like 923 million. Jumanji.
Is it?
Black
Wow.
Panther's such an event film as well.
Oh, they did $1 billion. That's what they were doing. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's an event film, so I think even people, especially African American people, or people of African descent that might not be into superhero films, would probably go and watch this film anyway, just because of how kind of important it is.
Yeah, like both of my sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
my dad was gonna go watch it like last week. So my sister was like, "Oh yeah, go see it," like for the culture and all that stuff. And I was like, "Don't go see it because you will 100% not enjoy it." He would have no idea what's going on. Absolutely none. I was like, you will not enjoy it. So yeah, he watched something else instead.
And then tell us about DC streaming services.
Yeah, because I don't think we chatted about it, but like they announced it even last month or a month before that their streaming service, they're bringing in a show called Krypton, which basically going to be a Superman show without Superman in it. And it's going to focus on Lois Lane and Lex Luthor. Yeah, how?
I heard it was going to focus on Superman's granddad.
No, it's Krypton. Oh, sorry.
You said
right. I did say Krypton.
I was going to say.
Sorry,
yeah,
Krypton is the one that we've talked about. Krypton. Sorry,
Yeah.
Krypton's the one that's coming out. It's coming out this month actually, and that is Superman's granddad. Sorry, Metropolis is what I'm talking about.
Right.
I was going to say,
Sorry,
how is Lex Luthor
Sorry,
in Krypton?
Metropolis is what I'm talking about.
This
That's
sounds like
Lois
such a
Lane, Lex
dumb
Luthor.
TV series, man.
It's kind of like because obviously they can't. I don't think the TV studios are allowed to use Superman and Batman and stuff like that. So they kind of have to like in like full feature TV shows because obviously like Superman has appeared a couple of times in Supergirl. So I think they kind of have to go around it. So like with Gotham, they've got Bruce Wayne, but it's not Batman sort of thing.
Right.
Not yet anyway.
Yeah.
I think. And obviously with this show, they can't have Superman. So I guess what's the next thing? We'll have his girlfriend and his arch enemy.
Yeah, I just kind of think like, no, just don't make a TV show then if you can't have the main thing that you want.
The thing is though, like, so for me, I was saying the other day, like, not the other day, a few podcasts back, like, I really appreciate what they're doing with like Smallville. Like, they built up Superman, but he never became Superman. He was the Blur, or something. He was never deemed Superman until the very end where he went like that and flew off. But still, then I don't think anyone actually called him Superman. And I think the same issue is going to be with Gotham. Like, I would love for this kid to become absolute wamp, becomes Batman, but realistically, they're going to use all the villains up and saturate it by the time they could make a film from it. I think what villain is going to be big enough to. I suppose you go out of world like Dark Side and stuff like that. But if they're already doing that now,
is the Joker in it?
He's been hinted at, but I don't believe
in Gotham.
Yeah, he's hinted at as a character, but he's not. They've almost put it as the Joker's an idea rather than Joker's a person.
So with the Joker, the actual character, no one actually knows who he is, but he's got a load of different personas in different comics of people.
Well, but that's in the comics though. Like I'm talking.
No, but that's what I'm saying. In Gotham, they've done the Red Hood, which
they've done another kid. There's a kid who did the Joker laugh. It was on the TV, and everyone started doing the Joker laugh. Who was a bit like insane.
I was going to say that, but.
Before you were really interrupted.
You made it really long and I was getting really bored, so I'm sorry.
Wow.
Jesus.
I just quickly want to say the other one was they were doing that animated Harley Quinn TV show as well. Because I think Harley Quinn was so popular in Suicide Squad.
I reckon that'll do well.
I think it probably will do well. I think it's going to make it R-rated as well. But the thing is, like when you've got the things like Metropolis and stuff like that they're bringing out for this DC streaming service, because there's like they haven't announced a date for when it's actually gonna like start. I think they said 2018, but then no one knows when. And they said,
use it.
Exactly. Well, like, they're gonna. I think they're just trying to flood it with as much stuff as they can because they haven't. I'm assuming haven't got that much original content to put out.
Can they put the CW shows on there?
I don't think so. Whilst they're on CW, I think maybe when the shows are finished.
They're contracted with CW, aren't they?
I think maybe when they're finished, they can put them on.
It's like Disney doing their one. The Netflix shows are staying on Netflix, even though they're Marvel. And that comes out, or is it out? It's out. Jessica Jones, isn't it?
No, it's 8th.
No, 18th.
8th.
Oh, is it the 8th?
Oh, the 18th, I don't know.
No, I think it's early March, I think.
But then Netflix put up some of the money for that, didn't they? So they're never not going to be on Netflix. I can imagine.
Then you can say they might have a contract with Marvel for how long they've got it for. So once 5 years is up or something, they could be like,
We'll get syndicated, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
But I just wonder, like, how... Because the fact that they're not giving out any details about this streaming service makes me think that they don't really know...
What they're doing?
What they're doing. What to do with it.
I think they're
DC,
I think they're way behind.
They haven't even given it a name yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they are way behind. Like, what are they? From when their first film came out, like the big one.
Their
like
franchise is always
behind.
catching up though. I don't get it. Like, I do get it, but I don't get it. Like, they had such a good start with the Batman trilogy. I know some people don't really like the first one. Some people think the third one's a bit naff, but like, it's good. It's a good franchise and like a good series of films.
Yeah.
And they just always flop with Superman by the looks of it. Because I don't think many people appreciated the one with the guy who plays
Brandon Routh.
Yeah, Brandon Routh.
It's very hard. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I actually quite agree with it. I think it's very hard to do a Superman film because he's so
OP.
Because he's got no weaknesses, really. Obviously, apart from kryptonite.
They just keep giving him powers in the comics as well. Like he can do this thing where he can absorb like loads of sun. Because obviously he gets the power from the sun, he can absorb loads of it and do this massive like bang, and then he becomes like human for 24 hours, which is his vulnerability. But like, why'd you give him that power? Why does he need it?
He can fly into the centre of suns and just absorb their power and just become invincible.
Yeah.
And what's his face? The camera guy has a watch, and if he presses it, Superman can hear it, and he can be there within like a second from anywhere in the world.
Camera guy?
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy Olsen.
Right.
But like
Superman's
so
too OP.
I know we've spoken about this before, but with this whole like plethora of streaming services that are coming out, they're gonna need to really kind of make it attractive from a pricing point of view, or because if you're paying what is it, like $8.99 a month for Netflix for like a standard screens, and then like Amazon Prime is like another £10 or no, is it £80 a year or something?
£80 a year.
And then like I don't think we get Hulu here, do we? But
no, we don't.
So there's all these things that like Cloak and Dagger's on one, and The Runaways is on another, and blah blah blah.
I think it's June or July.
And I know we've spoken this before, but it's just ridiculous.
It's getting too much.
Yeah, you're gonna have. I don't think I've got enough USB ports in my TV to plug all these like
I just don't get
extensions.
It though, obviously, I understand they want to do like different viewpoints and have different production companies make these things, so they're not also streamlined. Yeah, but at the same time, like you can have a bit more control. Like you could be like, right, let's put it all on our streaming service. We have a bit of control over it, and then we give them some creative license to do what they please. Kind of thing.
There's probably some where they'll say, oh yeah, who wants to do? We've got this idea to be shipped out, and they'll be like, they'll probably offer it to Netflix first, and like, no, we don't want it. So then things like Hulu and Amazon, they'll be, oh yeah, we'll pick it up because we need to catch up in this regard. So then they'll pay over the odds for the rights to to
True.
that TV show.
I think it's smart for someone like Marvel or Disney even to partner with Netflix, something that's
Yeah.
already established and
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
has hundreds
Smashing
of millions
it,
of
yeah.
users, because they're not gonna, you're not gonna. I don't think I would pay for a Disney one because I don't think the diversity of stuff is there
I think-
within Disney. It's either going to be animated princess stories
Yeah.
or
Well,
superheroes.
That's what I was just going to say. It would be the comic book fans getting it that are
Or kids.
way too into it, and parents.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
kids.
thinking about. The
That's
DC
what they're
one.
aiming at.
Like, who outside of comic book fans? Who's gonna buy the DC one?
That's why it's
No.
stupid. I
Unless
think
it's
they're
like
so.
stupid cheap.
I think then, yeah, unless it's like £2 a month.
Yeah.
See, if they did it £2 a month, they're winning. Because I think bare people would just do it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to just pay £2 a month.
Mm.
But like, I just don't get it. Like,
Tell that to Oxfam.
Yeah,
True.
or
But,
tell
like,
that to Obi when
I
he's
saw
paying
them-
for SoundCloud.
excuse me, I paid him.
I'm
not- that
wasn't
£14 the other day.
7 months late, but it's cool.
that wasn't the jab at you.
Hey, I said I paid in bulk.
But yeah, I don't think their streaming service is gonna, light up. I think
I'm just
they
waiting
should have
for-
partnered with like Amazon, because obviously
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel with Netflix, but then obviously DC have Black Lightning on Netflix as well.
That's
But
what I'm saying. Is there actually anything stopping DC from going with Netflix as well?
Probably not. No.
Nothing. No.
No.
If anything, Netflix would probably embrace that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Of course
from
they
like
would,
a
'cause Netflix would absolutely kill it with money,
Yeah.
but
But Amazon do have Arrow,
that's true.
but I don't know if they have Flash, Legends, and Supergirl. They probably do, but
Yeah.
Look, the thing for me, like, I have now been waiting. I don't know what episode podcast we spoke about this, but I have now been waiting several months for the Teen Titans like action TV series
Yeah.
and
Young Justice.
Young Justice season 3. I've been waiting for you. I didn't want Young Justice to stop, and it stopped, and I want it to start again, and it was gonna be starting again. And where is it?
Well, maybe they're waiting for the DC streaming.
just-
I
Long,
keep,
man,
they're
come
they're
on.
waiting for the streaming service because I've heard they've cast people and they've started filming, but
Yeah.
like, they just haven't been able to release anything.
Even if DC put all of the stuff that they have ever co-produced or whatever onto the streaming
the
service,
catalog's not big enough.
no, you're gonna
It's not
have
big enough.
like maybe 10, 11 Batman films,
Mm.
however many there have been since Tim
All the
Burton's
animated- all the
one.
animated
All the animated one. Maybe the 60s show.
yeah.
All of the animated DC stuff. It's not gonna. Netflix has
For
got
them
a
to justify
vast
the
library.
Like, I imagine the price of it will probably. I reckon they'll probably price it at like, I don't know, like $7 or $8 or pounds or whatever.
Mm.
And I wouldn't buy that
No.
because that's not worth it.
If you could do it by month, I'll probably try it out for 1 month.
I don't think I
We'll
would.
do the 1 month free trial, and then if it's any
If
good,
they offer that,
Yeah.
they should offer that. I
It wouldn't
or,
even-
or even
yeah.
a full.
It wouldn't even surprise me if they only did it in the USA because that's the way they are.
do you know what? I was reading the other day. So Obi, I believe's favourite superhero is Static Shock, or
Yeah.
one of your favourite.
Mm.
I read there was a film actually like in the works.
With,
And has been
with,
since, Jaden
Jaden
Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's been in the
I don't
works
know if that
since
was
like
a rumour or if that was
2015.
actually an actual thing.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that would be pretty interesting because he's like a really overpowered character.
Is he DC?
Yeah,
DC, yeah.
but he was like a childhood favourite of people.
He's actually Millstone Comics, but they got bought out by DC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then I throw the question out there. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but what do you think if Disney then suddenly just brought DC?
No.
Nah.
No.
No,
But
thank
why?
Because what's the point? It'd be all the same. This for the same reason you complain
yeah.
about Star Wars.
Yeah, I know.
It's the same. It's like everything just the same. Like
It's filtered. It's like recycled.
I need my different,
Yeah.
my different tones. Even though like they are essentially all pretty much very similar. Like I wouldn't want to watch. I wouldn't want to watch. I don't know, Daredevil or whatever, and it's like exactly like Arrow, because like they are similar, but they're very different in terms of tone.
Yeah.
And I prefer that. I don't like to. Cause in the end, I'd just stop watching stuff because it'd all just be the same. I'd just be
Yeah.
wasting my time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you think at any point they'll do? Because in the comic history, I think they've done like 5 or 6 crossovers between DC and Marvel.
Nah.
No, don't think that'll ever happen.
No, I don't think so.
Think how difficult it was
It'll
for
destroy it.
Marvel to get Spider-Man into its MCU, even though
I think it's more the fact that it would probably destroy credibility of characters. If one franchise's characters can beat another franchise's characters, it's kind of like, oh,
yeah,
that's a bit shit.
yeah, exactly. They'd have to do it where, like, in one film the DC would win, and then in another film Marvel would win.
That's long thing, and that
It'd
now
be
don't do
shit.
that.
Yeah, I think it'd be dreadful.
Shit.
But
I was gonna say, speaking of Joe saying it'd be shit, you can segue into Justice League. You just watched
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking of shit DC, you texted us saying that you watched Justice League.
Yeah.
Solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Listed about 15 issues with it, and I went, Joe, that's a bit of a damning review for a 7 out of 10.
Maybe a 6.
Maybe a 6.
And today you come in and say, "Oh, yeah, shit."
Yeah, listen, I've had time.
Tweaking.
I've had time
Time
to
to reflect.
digest it.
King
And-
tweak.
What happened with you digesting Man of Steel, mate? That took you fucking long.
Do you think you told me Man of Steel was brilliant?
Yeah.
I went into the cinema thinking it was gonna be fantastic, and that was a pile of shit.
Your hot takes are awful.
I quite like that.
I thought it was terrible.
Fair.
Do you
Fair
think? Do you think that the film was crap because it was crap, or do you think it was crap because it could have been so much better?
It could have been so much better.
That's what I think.
Um,
I don't think it was crap.
They're not
I
even
think
giving.
it could
They're
have
not
been
even
better.
doing the whole cut, are they? On the DVD.
No,
Are they
they're
not?
not. They won't. They can't. I don't think they can.
I think they're not even doing as much as they did for Batman vs
No,
Superman.
I think they're putting deleted scenes on it, but that's literally it.
Yeah, not many either.
DC are just fucking up there.
Well,
They-
did you say this?
they
Yeah.
can't do
So
films.
this Batgirl film that's meant to be coming out.
Oh, Joss
So-
Whedon left that.
Yeah,
didn't
so
he?
like I put a post. I've been trying to do our Instagram a little bit more. And
Yeah,
like,
good
I
effort,
put a thing about Batgirl and like,
Your average critics on Instagram.
yeah, decent. And like Josh Whedon has gone from the
Left
production
the project.
team.
Yeah. He said he couldn't find a story or something.
Yeah, he doesn't know enough about it. So
Right.
although they have the right intention to get someone in who's a bit more, well, it's like the thing is like, I like the idea they brought Josh Whedon in because he's done so well so far. But it's like you're saying, isn't it? Like you make it too streamlined that way, like everything will be the same, and it will, such a dark series will become too jokey. I think.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't know why they're going diverge. They haven't got enough of a core to start doing these. Obviously, they're not smaller characters, but they're not like the main Justice League 7. They haven't
Yeah.
really introduced us to them yet. Like Shazam's not even in it yet.
No. Green Lantern ain't in it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Although I must admit, I thought Justice League. I thought that little war bit at the beginning was pretty sick.
I like how they
Introduce Hercules.
introduced Hercules, the gods, the Green Lantern Corps, and yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I just thought it could
have been better.
It could have been better.
Yeah.
Especially afterwards when you hear about all the stuff that they were planning to
To
do
put
and
it
they
in.
didn't actually put in.
I think
And they
it.
cut out like 50 minutes of the film.
I think it's personal circumstance on this one though, because I think the film, if give him credit where credit's due, I think Zack Snyder, he was on it, wasn't he?
Mm.
I think if he had carried on with it, I think it would have been a bit better than it was when it was
Then
released.
there was rumours that he was fired.
really?
Yeah.
Mm.
That I think I read somewhere that they were going to fire him, and then obviously his tragedy of his daughter, and then they just kind of, it was kind of good timing in the most morbid sense.
Oh wow.
But I don't think they could, obviously after his daughter's death, they couldn't say, oh yeah, we fired him. So it was kind of like transitioned him out.
Okay.
So who took over?
Just
Joss
Whedon.
Josh Whedon
Oh.
took over.
And maybe it's the backlash to his elements of the film that has
Yeah.
that ultimately left Batgirl as well. So
Well, I mean, for these type of films, you need a director that one even knows that whole comic world, or will actually dedicate themselves and look into it, not just bring someone in who knows a bit but doesn't know anything else.
That's what they've kind of tried to do, though. Isn't it? Like the second thing, the latter that you just said, they've just brought in directors who they think are good. Like for the they wanted for the Flashpoint film. In the first instance, I think they brought in the guy who did the Planet of the Apes films,
Right.
Matt Reeves,
Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
that's it. So I think, or was it the Batman film that they wanted him to do? The
the
solo
Batman one.
film?
Yeah,
The
I
solo
think he's
Batman
still
film.
attached to that.
Is he?
Yeah.
So like, I don't think they're getting in. Obviously, I don't know personally because obviously I don't know what these people like and don't like in terms of
Yeah,
comics.
yeah.
So I think they're just getting people who think, oh yeah, he's done a good film. So,
But that's
yeah,
technically,
offer.
I think that's technically what they did for like Star Wars Rogue One. If anyone wants one, they got that guy in who wasn't really that famous, and that's cool.
What, for Rogue One?
Oh, God,
Who
mate,
did
all
do? Who
three
did
colours.
Rogue One?
It was Gar. Oh, what's
He
his
did
name?
one really good film, didn't he? And then he got put on the
His name's
project.
Gareth Evans. I think he did a film called Monsters, or maybe that's someone
And
else.
like, he was quite unknown, but he did a good film. And
Yeah.
to be fair to him, I think Rogue One's my favourite Star Wars film. So
To be fair, I'm happy with them getting unknown directors, but I think you have to set out the tone of the film for the film that you want, and then get out a director that matches that tone.
Yeah.
So like for Black Panther, they
Gareth
got Ryan-
Edwards, sorry.
Gareth Edwards. Edwards.
Edwards,
Gareth
yeah.
Edwards. Shout out Gareth Edwards.
Yeah.
So for Black Panther, they got Ryan Coogler to direct it, and obviously I think his two major films before that were Creed and
Fruitvale Station.
That's the one. Both with Michael B. Jordan in it.
I watched
So
Creed
think-
again. It was pretty.
I haven't actually seen it. I need to watch
It's
it.
good.
I think they see. Okay, this is the tone of the film. This is the type of film that he does. So we need to get him to kind of try and get off him because this is what we're trying to do. Whereas I think with DC, like, even with Justice League, after Zack Snyder, obviously he left and all that stuff happened, I feel like they were just like, oh, let's just get Joss Whedon in, like regardless of tone or whatever we wanted, because you can tell the tone from the bits that Zack Snyder and the bit that Joss Whedon did. The tones are completely different. Like even like in terms of lighting, it's even lighter. The bits that Joss Whedon does, there's the comedic bits and the jokes and stuff like that. So it just didn't match.
So what were your issues with it, Joe?
The CG I thought was not great.
It wasn't great
in most parts.
I agree with that.
There was the very beginning bit
The moustache, yeah.
with the CG out.
I don't think you noticed that. Do you think?
Oh, mate,
do you
I
think?
could
Do you
notice
think?
it so
Do you think
badly.
if you didn't know it, you'd notice it? If you didn't know about it beforehand.
So I'll tell you what. To be fair, the first time I watched it, because I think I watched it 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times. I thought it was funny that he was going like that with his teeth out. I was like, why is he doing that?
I think
So I'm cheering at the same time.
I think if I didn't know it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought, oh, they've CG'd his mouth and something's wrong. I would have gone, his mouth looks a little bit weird. Why? You know what I mean? So I wouldn't.
Until I saw that meme, I wouldn't have known any better.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Even I watched it the second time after I found out about it, and it's still then I didn't notice. But
I only noticed it that part though. The rest of the film, I don't notice it at all.
Okay, so bad CGI.
Bad CGI.
Wait, I don't know. When you say bad CGI, the first bit, the war was all CGI. Was that bad?
No.
You're talking about general CGI in the real world.
I think there's too much.
No, yeah, a little bit too much CGI.
Okay.
Superman's moustache, Steppenwolf's face wasn't great.
I didn't have a problem with Steppenwolf's face personally.
And just little bits. I'm trying to find what I did actually say. Oh yeah, the way Flash run.
Yeah.
It looks way too.
So they're doing it to imply that he's already part of the Speed Force.
Not. I don't mean like the electric coming off him.
Oh,
the
yeah.
actual way he
The
runs.
stance.
Yeah, his stance. that he
they're
runs.
trying to
Because he kind of goes like that,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
he
Like
was,
zigzag. Like,
out there. It was
It looks like his body popping in like
Yeah.
Oceana.
It's not how he runs.
Oceana.
Good one.
Steppenwolf as a character, really,
It was a bit naff, yeah, I'll give you that.
like he didn't pose that much of a threat, and you knew that as soon as Superman was alive, it was over.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, go
The
on.
problem I had with Steppenwolf is, and I think with a lot of villains in terms of Marvel and DC in general, is that, and this is what I think they did so well with Killmonger in Black Panther, is that you couldn't really relate to him, and you couldn't really see why he wanted what he wanted or where he was coming from at all.
Yeah.
So like, it's hard to kind of like think. I kind of just seemed like he was being bad for the sake of being bad. If that makes sense. So it's kind of hard to like give a shit about him because you kind of know he's just gonna die in the end anyway.
And
So.
the film blatantly set up Darkseid for Justice.
Oh yeah, but they I think that was always the plan because the thing is, the problem I have with the film as well, like they had in none of the other films did they imply, bar Wonder Woman and the Cube, did they imply that there was going to be this free cube scenario?
Thank you. I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck
The
are
only
mother
reason,
boxes?
so the
I
only
remember
reason I knew about it is because I've read some of it. So as soon as they showed boxes, I was like, okay, they're mother boxes. They're gonna transport.
Like
they can do all this, and then and Cyborg's part of a mother box kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like whatever. But like the problem I had was the fact that first scene Batman's there. Well, not first scene Superman, but the first scene Batman's there, and he's like, I found a mark. I need to get the fear out of you, and it's like, what are you talking about, Batman? Like what?
Yeah.
And then like this ghoul comes out of nowhere and you kill him and he makes a mark on the wall. What the? What is going on? That really did annoy me.
It didn't set up its story
No.
very well.
No, and that's the problem with the fact that they've done a team up, like when they haven't done kind of solo
solos.
films.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea about who Cyborg was, anything like that.
No.
But he's like, something about mother
Grab me
boxes or
some.
whatever,
Sorry.
and like, yeah, I just feel like they needed a lot more setup. They should have teased mother boxes.
Yeah.
They should have, I don't know, just hinted a bit more because I was so confused.
Yeah, it was. And do you know what? The problem I have, it's not really a problem, but the fact that we're not going to get a Flash origin film doesn't bother me.
Are we not?
Well, no, because
It's gonna be Flashpoint.
it's going to be Flashpoint.
Ah, okay.
And I think
You
they
might
have...
get his origin in Flashpoint.
Yeah, but it'll be a small little.
Yeah, and I do think they've got agreements to have the people who played the mum and dad to actually play the mum and dad again. Do you know what Flashpoint is? Yeah,
I know what Flashpoint is.
Yeah.
Was his mum in the film?
So his mum is the Joker. Oh yeah, she's.
Oh, I meant. Like...
Oh yeah, Batman. Yeah, she gets shot at the beginning, doesn't she? In Batman vs Superman, they do a little black and white.
Right.
And the guy who plays
Negan
in Walking Dead's the dad.
Right.
Yeah, and the one who plays Maggie
In The Walking Dead is the mum.
Right.
But
So and that the Flashpoint film is a direct tie-in with the whole DCU.
Yeah.
No, it's outside. No, it's not. Well, it is, but it's not part of that time. It's not. Part
I know
of
it's
the
not part of that timeline, but it's part of that collective of films.
Yeah. And didn't you say the Flashpoint directors are the same ones who did Game Night?
Game Night, yeah.
Game Night. So
I
how
don't know
was
who those directors are, but...
So how was Game Night?
Oh, segue king.
It's a great segue. Yeah, it was alright, you know. It's typical, like I said to you a minute ago before we started recording. I think it's a typical, like, Jason Bateman film. I feel like I like him, but he's very, I feel like he's very typecast. Like, every role I feel like I see him in is pretty much the same.
I don't know if he's typecast or if he's just not a very good actor.
Yeah,
because he's just.
Yeah, maybe.
I really like him. I find him really
too.
funny, but he is the exact same smarmy guy in every single film.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman. What else has he been in?
Horrible
Thief.
Bosses.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're on about. Yeah.
So pretty much any kind of R-rated comedy is Jason Bateman.
But no, it was good. Like, it was funny at parts. There was like an element of kind of like mystery, kind of like, well, what's going on, sort of thing, for a minute. But it was actually quite predictable in a way. But you know, I still enjoyed it. The acting was decent. The action was okay. There's one character called, I think his name was Gary, who's proper flames and like just so bare creepy, but which made him really funny. Yeah, don't know. It's just a standard film, really. So I'll give it like a 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not really because there's not really. Like, I think you should just like if you want to see it, go and see it. Cause
It's
not
funny.
Really, it's funny-ish. Yeah.
Ish.
It's funny.
Right.
There's funny parts in it.
Is it primarily a comedy?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not really sort of film that I can like kind of delve into because
Yeah.
it's not really like a. You know, it's not really like that sort of
Yeah.
film.
There's not much depth to it.
No,
It's
it's
just-
not exactly. There's not, but it was decent though. I would go and watch it if you give a shit. Yeah.
What was it called?
Game night or
Game-
games night.
Game Night.
Game Night.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the
Winston.
trailer a while ago and I thought it looked quite funny.
Winston from.
It like starts off
New
like.
Zealand.
I've
I've seen the trailer. Right.
Yeah.
That's decent though.
Okay.
Worth
Cool.
a watch.
And then I guess the latest release is Lady Bird, which I went to see with my girlfriend, and you saw as well, didn't you?
Once.
On your one.
Only just for Valentine's Day, Glenn. Come on.
Lonely fucker.
Honestly.
So next weekend, I'll be here, mate. You, me, single Pringles, ready to
Could have
mingle.
asked me to go. I mean,
I mean, to be fair, I did see it in cinema, so.
Oh.
Fair
I mean, what?
Yeah, so Lady Bird is kind of a semi-autobiographical.
Oh, is it?
Sort of. So the
Oh.
director is Greta Gerwig, and it's based on experiences
I read
that
that.
she kind of grew up with
Oh, I see.
in Sacramento.
Okay.
But I don't think much of it happened to her. She just kind of witnessed it and has put it into this film.
Right.
So Saoirse Ronan plays Lady Bird. I think her name's Christine.
Christine. Yeah.
But she likes to be called Lady Bird. She's this like bohemian girl who wants to. That she lives in Sacramento in California, but she wants to kind of move to where the culture is in
Yeah,
New
she
York.
wants to be like, oh,
And
alright.
what really upset me was that this film is set in the distant past, and it's 2002, and I was like, "Oh, that's
that's
history now." I was like, "What?"
16 years ago, for fuck's sake.
I know, it's ridiculous. I was only 9, but you know. Anyway, so it's basically
Yeah.
93, mate. Quick maths. So
No, you're 8, weren't you? You're 24.
I'm 24, but I will be 25 this year.
God, mate.
I know.
I was right.
So yeah, it kind of follows Saoirse Ronan's Lady Bird as she's like in high school, just before she goes to college. So I guess she'll be a senior. And yeah, just kind of coming of age story. She kind of falls in love.
Quickly, what's the definition of coming of age?
I think it's kind of just, you know, learning about yourself and finding out. It's not really. It's kind of coming into maturity, but that could be at different stages.
Okay.
Why? You looking at me like really?
I'm just curious. No, go on, carry on.
Why?
No, it doesn't matter.
Do you?
Because I just hear that phrase a lot, and I just don't really know.
Coming
what
of
it means.
age film.
I just don't really know what it means.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
curious.
It's because the whole film's about her and her struggles with her relationship with her mum. She wants to get into college, but they can't afford it, and then she falls out with her best friend, and then she kind of has boyfriends, and so it's all about
teenage drama.
Yeah, but she's learning about herself, and especially at the end of the film, like when she comes to the realization of, you know, maybe everything wasn't as kind of grass isn't always greener.
I guess.
So
her mum is the same. She's the woman who plays Sheldon as well on Big Bang Theory.
oh really?
If anyone gives a shit about that, I don't
Do
know
not.
who does,
But thank you for that tidbit. So yeah, what did you think of Lady Bird as a whole?
I mean, it was alright. Like, I was mildly entertained, and there was a few funny bits, you know, like when she jumped out the car right at the beginning. I thought that was pretty funny.
Not Oscar worthy then?
No, not really.
No.
Not really.
So you're shouting that the Oscars this year weren't as exactly?
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but
Didn't they? It's not done though, isn't it?
The Oscars are tonight.
Oh, I thought I saw something that the director of Get Out had won something.
Oh, there was another award ceremony yesterday.
Oh, really?
Called the Spirit Awards. I don't know really what they.
I guess an Oscar special will be next week then.
Yeah, we could do an Oscar special next week. It's a shame that we're not recording this Monday night because we would have known it. But so the Best Picture nominees are Shape of Water, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, Three Billboards, Get Out, The Post, Call Me by Your Name, and Lady Bird. Did you go and see Call Me by Your Name?
I didn't. I missed out on it. But I've watched it on my phone. I watched like the first 10 minutes of it. I'm trying to watch the rest before next week, so I can.
I'm wondering which one will get Best Picture. I think Shape of Water might.
I think it will.
I would love Get Out to win it. But.
Yeah, I don't think it will. But no, with Lady Bird, I think maybe I'm being a bit harsh. It was a good film, but like I said, I don't think there wasn't anything stand up for me to make it like a Oscar performance. Like the parts where all the high school stuff, I feel like it's just been like I don't know. It's just felt really cliche to me.
Yeah, it was really formulaic.
Yeah.
Like, if you said, oh, we're going to do a high school drama, you would have a girl who falls out with her best friend because she wants to get in with the cool girl.
Yeah.
And then, she finds out that the grass isn't always greener and
She gets with a guy.
Yeah.
That guy's a bit of a dick and
Very mean girlish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like she doesn't like her mum, and so it was
typical teen drama.
And then then she kind of has this realization and gets has to apologise to her friend, and
like I think there were a couple of things like that they just kind of like had in there. I was a bit like, oh, are we just gonna leave that there? Like, the bit that she said about her dad being depressed, and I was like, she just literally had one scene with her mum, and then okay, we don't hear about that again, and like I don't know, I just felt like certain other characters. I feel like most of the characters were a bit underdeveloped, to be honest.
Well, there's Lucas Hedges' character who is gay, but he can't. He doesn't have to come out, and that was kind of not really explored.
No.
Yeah.
And even like the brother and her brother and I'm assuming the brother was
adopted.
Yeah, but they didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't say that, did they?
No.
That would have been nice for a little bit.
Because the brother was
inference.
Mexican or something.
Yeah, he's
like that.
Latino.
Yeah.
But
This film sounds like it's all over the place.
I mean, it's not really because
missing details.
I think I'm nitpicking, to be honest, because I'm just trying to find things for it to talk about because it is for me like quite a bog standard film. Not bog stand. I don't want to say bog standard.
It's like
it's middle of the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10.
I did enjoy it, but I did come out and I think, was that Oscar worthy? I don't know. Like the performance was alright. It was an interesting story. I didn't think it was a bad film, but
it was just a bit meh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good, but
It was okay.
I wouldn't say it was brilliant.
Like,
I'm
the
glad I didn't go
girl
away
who stars in
to
it was good.
Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah.
I liked her performance. But
What else did you?
and even the bit about the what's his face, the priest, the drama teacher.
Oh yeah.
And then he was he depressed as well or something?
Well, I think
he was with
he
the
must.
mum?
Yeah, he must
And-
have had some sort of illness.
Yeah, and then they just didn't
Yeah.
say anything about that either. Maybe it's because she didn't know what happened after that. The director, but I felt they could have given us some sort of because he was like, oh yeah, don't tell your daughter. And I was like, don't tell your daughter what? Like you haven't told us what you're going through.
Yeah.
And that was,
He was the guy from Fences.
From Fences, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was alright. It was alright.
Just meh.
So we don't think it'll win any Oscars.
I mean, I don't think it should. But then the selection is quite poor, so I wouldn't be surprised if that film won. To be honest.
True. Talking of disappointing films, I watched Mute the Netflix film.
Yeah.
Any of you gonna watch it?
I started watching it. I got to a bit where they were showing him the mobile phone.
Oh yeah. So Mute is. So can I go into spoilers?
Yeah, go.
Spoilers incoming for Mute. Not that you'd really want to watch it, but so it's about a
It's a
guy.
Netflix film as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's from Duncan Jones, who did Warcraft, Source Code, and a film called Moon. He's David Bowie's son. So Mute is about a mute barman played by Alexander Skarsgård in kind of futuristic Berlin, and then he has a girlfriend called Nadira, I think, and.
Oh, it's like Alien-y, isn't it? It's an alien world, isn't it? Or it's a world where aliens exist within, isn't it?
No, it's just futuristic,
Oh.
sci-fi. But so she goes missing, and then he basically tries to find out where she's gone. Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux play these two absent without leave soldiers from America, but they're in Berlin, and they're surgeons, so they do dodgy stuff like for some sort of Russian mafia, and then they intersect. Turns out that Paul Rudd was with Nadira before, and they have a kid together, and I think Nadira was going to stop him from seeing his daughter because he's a pretty shit father. So then he kills her, and and then obviously the barman finds the body, and I mean,
does he go on a mad one and start killing everyone?
not really. There's not much action in it, to be honest. It's a few punches, but that's about it. Like this film's all over the place. Like if you set something in Berlin and in the future, I feel like you need to justify why you have chosen to set it there, right? Because the film is not a German film. There are not German actors in it. And there was nothing about it that was like explained why it was set there or in that particular time period.
Yeah.
So like, not a lot of sci-fi, it's explained by, the plot needs something futuristic in it, so you need to set it in the future. Like Blade Runner, it's all about clones and all that kind of these big ideas. But there was the only reasoning that I can think of is because the director wanted to have animatronics fucking one another. Like that's pretty much all it was just like just it was just a little bit, but it was just a setting. Like there was nothing about there was no reasoning for me why it was set in the future and why it was set in Berlin. So that, and then they
didn't even use a futuristic phone in the bit I saw.
No, I mean,
what year is it saying? Roughly.
Oh, I can't remember. I have no idea. But there was no justification for that. And then Justin Theroux's character is a paedophile, but there's no commentary on it's not saying anything. It's just why have you made this character a paedophile?
Right.
Yeah, and like Paul Rudd's character finds out and has a go at him, and then 2 minutes later they go to the casino and get drunk, and it's like, you're making this character a paedophile. You've made someone call him out on it, and you're not getting it. There's no kind of retribution for him. Yeah, it was just like there was no reason for the guy to be mute either. Like that was. It was basically just frustrating for the audience because he can't ask anyone. He's just pointing at stuff. But it wasn't. I don't know why they made him mute. Like it was just.
They can name the film Mute then.
Yeah, but and then like Nadira, like finding out she's dead, I was like, okay, well we didn't see enough of her for me to really give a shit. But it was never explained properly that she was with Paul Rudd beforehand. Like that was all very much after. Right. You find out she's dead. It's like, oh yeah, well, there's a throwaway line about, I didn't want to, I'm not giving up my daughter or something, and then you have to kind of yourself make the connection.
Right, okay.
It was just shit. It was really shit.
Rating out of 10?
3.
3.
Oh.
Yeah, dreadful. Don't go. And
Why
see
did he get 3? Like, what gave it 3 over 1?
True. Yeah, I don't know.
Because you haven't really told me anything good about it.
I don't think there was anything good about it.
You just
it had the guy who used to play Sean
Robert Kaczynski.
Sean Slater from EastEnders and Noel Clarke, so maybe a 2.
Is that Andy Skarsgård geezer, the one that played Tarzan?
Yeah.
True Blood, isn't
So
it?
maybe for those 2 people we'll give it a 2 out of 10. Yeah.
2 out of 10.
What have you guys been watching?
iZombie.
iZombie.
Yeah.
That's DC, isn't it?
It is.
It is indeed.
But they've just come back for the fourth season. Fourth season?
Fourth, yeah.
Yeah, fourth season. First episode. And basically, so like at the end of season 3, they're in Seattle, and basically like majority of Seattle got invaded by, well, not say invaded. Most of Seattle were infected now. Like they're all zombies now. So at the start of season 4, they've like walled it off. I don't know if this is like, you know, reference to like Donald Trump,
Okay.
stuff like that. I don't know. But they like walled off Seattle. Some people managed to get out before they were like got infected, but it's just like sectioned off now. They've got like army forces who are all zombies, like patrolling, make sure nobody gets outside or inside. And there's like little rebel factions who are going around like trying to kill zombies and shit and like burning places and stuff like that.
Are these like sentient zombies?
What would a sentient mean?
Well, as in like they can talk and they're
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're fully functioning.
They have,
so they're just undead, basically.
Yeah, they have beast mode. Did you call it beast
yeah,
mode?
that's what she calls it.
So when they get like really angry or they can really, there's
Or when
blood
they
in the
go
area.
ages without brains.
Yeah, they like go really mad and strong and stuff like that. But you don't really see that side of it much, to be honest.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it was okay. I didn't think it was a particularly great episode. I don't think it was a bad episode. I should have really watched the last episode of season 3 again, because I completely forgot about the doctor. God, I've forgotten his name.
Ravi.
I've completely forgot about him.
So like the supporting character, whose name's Ravi.
Who's jokes.
He's he's a good character. So he's a zombie. He injected himself, but then he injected himself with, because he thought he made a cure. So obviously, in order for him to test the cure, he had to make himself a zombie.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that, and it threw me off for like ages.
Yeah. So like I think he says like the cure works, but
He gets tendencies to like eat brains or
like every few weeks.
Yeah, every few weeks. But he is still human, but his hair is going white, which would imply that he is turning into a zombie as well, because your hair goes white and you go pale skinned. And so, because in the other seasons, someone was making money off it, because they were like £40,000, I'll give you a supply of tannin, I'll give you a supply of brains, and blah blah blah.
Like chili sauce and stuff.
Yeah, because zombies don't like the taste of normal food unless they put Tabasco or chili sauce in it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a really random.
Yeah.
But the zombie people, aren't they? The zombie security people are selling because they get more brain food than everyone else. There's like a brain pouch that they can eat,
Right.
and they get it through legit ways, like from dead people, not actually killing people. But they get double the rations of every other zombie, and someone's trying to sell them off. I think wasn't that the storyline?
Yeah, someone's trying to sell it on the black market. So some guy was trying to sell it on the black market, and he basically got caught out by an employee who happened to hate zombies, and then they killed that employee. And then the main character, Liv, she eats that guy's brain and gets his visions and his characteristics and stuff like that. So she's like, obviously she's a zombie, but she's talking about how much she hates zombies and stuff like that. And like in the end, they solved the crime, whatever. The son, was the son who killed him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mum.
The mum killed him. Yeah. So yeah, his mum killed him. Killed the dad.
Yeah.
The son was a zombie.
And the dad didn't like it. Yeah.
Not really that important to the story, to be honest with you.
No.
To
be fair, the crime solving in the last season and a half, I think, last season and the start of this season is like really secondary to the main like storyline.
Okay. So did it start out as like a crime?
Yeah, a bit like basically more like a procedural.
Because she works in a morgue. She's an assistant morgue person, and she found out about.
Assistant morgue.
Well, I don't know what the name of it was, but she found out she was a zombie, and she just coped with it. So because she worked she was going to be like a world renowned like doctor, or that's what was implied. She had like fantastic everything, and then she learned that she was this, so she worked in a
morgue to get free brains.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, essentially. And then she figured out that she could get visions, and then Ravi found out she was eating brains, but didn't actually mention it until later on that he knew.
Yeah, because he suspected it, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, but like because like they're friends, so like she was trying to hide it from him to like not alarm him and stuff like that. But he found it out in the end, and obviously, and then now her detective partner now also knows that she's a zombie. I think he found out at the end. Of
And so does
season
he,
two.
and so does the woman he likes as well. Oh, everyone.
Yeah,
knows
she's
now.
a zombie.
Yeah, she's a zombie.
Yeah,
now.
she's a zombie.
Yeah, so partner up now. So partner zombie with human to solve the cases.
Okay.
By the sounds of it,
Yeah.
it's a really good like as DC series go. I haven't had a 40 season yet.
Sounds like the least DC thing. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's not tying in with these
But I
other
guess-
CW shows.
I guess DC is Detective Comics, isn't it? So I guess a procedural would fit in with that.
Yeah,
But-
I mean I didn't expect much of it when I first started watching it, and it's done great. So I'm hopeful for this season. Although the only problem I've got is that if Ravi makes a cure, there is only so many seasons they can go with this. I think, from my personal opinion.
Oh, and also like one of the main bad guys called Blaine, he trapped his dad in. His dad was a zombie as well, but so he trapped his dad in a well. Like he tied cement to his feet and dropped him in a well, and basically like every now and again comes and feeds him brains just to like keep him alive. Obviously like torture him sort of thing.
Okay.
But basically Blaine is a dickhead to his bodyguard, so his bodyguard's like, fuck you, I'm gonna get your dad out. So he gets his dad out of the well, and the dad's like gone mental. And then he kills the bodyguard. I don't know if that is because he was angry or because he was mental. And basically he's just like walking around.
Oh no, he didn't like the fact that the bodyguard was trying to hustle money.
Yeah. So he's like walking around like a madman, splurting all sorts of rubbish. And then he goes to like a little, it's not a church, but there's a priest there and there's people there like gathering. What's it?
Weren't they zombies?
Movie theatre. Yeah.
Oh.
And the priest isn't a zombie, but he's like preaching to these people and whatever. And basically, the dad comes in and bashes his head in. And it's like, yeah, guys, let's eat.
Wow.
So I think he's gonna like be more involved in the season. Maybe he's gonna become like a preacher or like a zombie preacher, a zombie leader or something like that.
Okay.
I'm assuming. So that was pretty cool.
What have you been watching, Joe?
The one I remember was When We First Met, which is a Netflix film with Alexander Daddario.
Jeez.
The
guy from Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
And the guy who played the other half of Dr. Stein.
Yeah.
Who was that?
The girl he loved,
Dr. Stein.
but actually went out with the good-looking guy, basically.
Is it a rom-com?
Rom-com.
Yeah.
Basically, the main guy of the film likes Alexandra, but she likes someone else.
Stop chewing before you keep talking because it's going to pick up on the audience.
Right, okay.
So finish your sweets and then start talking.
Basically, he likes Alexandra Daddario, and basically he finds this photo booth, and he basically can turn back time by 7 years to when he first met her, which was at a frat party. And he went with one. No, he went on it. I don't know who he went with, but it was one of the Vine stars in it. I can't remember. Yeah, he's in it. Not much, but he's in it.
I would have no idea who he is.
He's quite funny actually. I do like his comedy. You carry on then.
Yeah, so the main guy went to a frat party, met Alexandra, fell in love, didn't ever get with her, blah blah blah. Like Chris said, he went to the place where he worked, went into a photo booth, found out he can turn back time by using the photo booth, woke up 7 years later, went to the same frat party, basically, got with her.
No, not the first one. First one, he he did. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I can't really remember the film that much.
You're right. He got with her, and then he had already spoken to her best mate beforehand. Yeah. So the best mate came home and was like, "This guy knows everything about us," and then they started beating him up. So he went back to the photo booth, did it again.
Yeah, basically the main guy goes back in time like 5 different times, finds out that he's not actually meant to be with Alexandra, goes back one more time because he's found out that he really likes Alexandra's best mate, goes back in time, tries to get with her, goes back to the present day, flops, then goes back again, does everything
as it
should have been, as in before he time travelled.
Yeah.
And then in the present day, asked Alexandra's mate out, and then the film ended.
Yeah.
Sounded a bit pointless, to be honest.
It was.
Yeah.
Very pointless.
Yeah, and I think you can tell by the first scene that him and the other girl could get on, but they're like
it was overly drawn out. The comedy was subpar at best.
Subpar at best. So what made you want to watch it? Apart from Alexandra Daddario.
Alexandra Daddario, to be fair, that was about it.
And the other bird in it's pretty fit as well.
What, the mate? The mate.
The main?
The mate.
Oh yeah.
So he was alright.
Have you watched anything decent over the last 2 weeks?
I rewatched The Matrix.
Okay.
which is a very good film.
And that's one from the archives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice one, Chris.
Hey.
Go on, Joe.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you haven't watched The Matrix, it's set in... Well, I don't really know how to explain it.
It's a bit of a mindfuck.
Yeah, it is a
It's
bit.
about hackers, isn't it?
Well, is it?
Neo's a hacker or something,
Yeah,
isn't he?
in the beginning of the film, Neo is a hacker in the present day. This is back in like 2000 or 1990, whatever. He's a hacker. Goes to a party, meets a girl called Trinity. Then gets tracked by agents, in inverted commas. I'm not very good at explaining this.
What is the point? I've seen
They make
the Matrix, but what is? Why are they in the Matrix? What are they actually trying to achieve?
So the way that I see it, they're not in the Matrix by choice. The machines that now run the real world basically manufacture humans as an energy source.
Right.
So they can make as many humans as they want, use it for energy, and they power whatever the machines do. And basically, to make sure that the humans that the machines produce don't wake up and start revolting, they keep them in the Matrix, which is a computer simulation.
which is real life, technically, to us. Which part of it is real life to us, and which part is the desolate world of where the machines are?
That's real life.
But the Matrix is
computer simulation.
of real life.
Of real life,
Of
yeah,
real
that's what I
life.
mean, yeah. So.
So, basically the machines do that, put you in the Matrix, and you live out your life, and then I assume when you die in the Matrix, you die in real life, and they just create a new human. But there's a group of humans in the desolate real life that are basically searching for the one, whose basically sole purpose is to end the machine's tyranny and free everyone in the real world and in the Matrix. Who is what Neo is. Morpheus finds Neo in the Matrix and basically brings him out, gives him the red and blue pill, which is quite iconic. Either you stay in or you come out of the Matrix. And then, basically Neo goes through a whole training simulation and just trains, becomes the one, defeats the agents, and...
Oh, you're doing the whole Matrix trilogy here?
No.
That's just in... Oh, okay.
Yeah, just in the first one.
Right, okay.
Remember, he gets...
Oh, mate, it's so long ago.
He gets killed by one of the agents.
Right.
Agent Smith, I believe his name is.
Speaking
killed.
of Smith, sorry, can I interrupt you really quickly?
God,
Sorry, did you know that they actually approached Will Smith to be
Neo?
Yeah.
I
But
did know that.
But he said he did the Wild Wild West.
Yes.
Lol.
Oh, dear.
Sorry, carry on.
He gets killed by Agent Smith, gets back up, realises he's the one. The three agents decide to shoot him with a load of bullets. He puts up his hand and goes, "No." That's a different bit when he does the...
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He puts up his hand, says no, kills the other two agents, and then jumps in... No, he doesn't. Stops the bullets. Then he jumps into Agent Smith and sort of combusts him. And then he comes back... Neo comes back to himself. And then the film ends with him flying off.
What?
Have you seen The Matrix?
I thought I had, but that last bit that you just explained does not ring any bells.
Yeah, but I need to rewatch it.
He goes into the in the last sort of section of the film. He's running from the agents. Calls up Tank, I believe his name is, who's the guy in the real world who can bring you in and out of the Matrix. He's the tech support guy, the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
Gets in contact with him. Tank tells Neo where a phone is to get him out of the Matrix, which is in an apartment block.
Yeah, I remember that bit, yeah.
He runs down the hallway,
Yeah.
opens the door, and Agent Smith is there, and shoots him seven times.
I need to rewatch it. It's one of those films, I've seen it a few times, but it never sinks in. It's one of those
Yeah, to be
films.
fair, very complicated.
It's one of them mindfucky films that can just toy with you a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a good film. I enjoy it. Solid 8.
Okay. And have you seen the other two?
I have seen the other two, but
Maybe.
recently.
Okay.
Maybe you can do a weekly.
I suppose, but I need to get so much better at explaining films.
Oh, mate, that was good.
We're average critics.
We are.
Yeah, that was
I've
good,
really
mate.
fun.
No, don't knock yourself, mate.
But yeah, no, I thought that's one of my favourite films.
Okay.
Matrix.
Whatever.
Yeah, not the other two. The other two are sort of subpar, but that one's Have you seen the Matrix?
I haven't seen them.
You need to watch the Matrix.
He also needs to watch 5 episodes in Naruto. I was
You do.
I was gonna say before you go on to
do.
another film topic, maybe we should revisit an Instagram post about people's favourite films. We had a few comments from people on it.
Did you do the Instagram, the Twitter poll?
Yeah, about the favourite shows.
Yeah.
I did actually.
Good call, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me just try and get the results up. Although your sister wanted, what was it, Prison Break or...
Didn't I do a picture?
Is it Grey's Anatomy? Is that the other one?
Okay.
Grey's Anatomy, yes, decent. Didn't I put Prison Break as one of the pictures on our Instagram post?
Oh, did you? Are you talking about Instagram? Because
But Instagram, and then the whole reason Instagram, Obi said about the polls, because the Instagram post got put up.
Right, let me...
No?
Check
but,
those.
but Prison Break wasn't one of Glenn's...
Oh, right,
No.
okay, yeah.
So-
I was going to say, I definitely put a picture of it.
You can only have 4 options, which is pretty bad. But there's Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, 24, and I put Sopranos because I thought some people like that. Game of Thrones won 50% of the vote, and then 24 came second
Jeez.
with 33% of the vote.
If I'd voted, I would vote for 24, just for the culture.
Yeah, but you're not on Twitter at the moment, are
I'm
you?
not.
Are you
And-
still going strong with the Lent?
Get to use it.
Both sides of it.
Get to get to use it.
Right, let me check
Every
out.
passing day. I'm almost halfway through, I think.
I think Instagram, there was a few different ideas floating about.
Is it all TV shows?
Yeah, so did you say last week what your favourite TV show was? Did you say Game of Thrones?
You said Breaking Bad, I think.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
did say Breaking Bad. That's true.
So we got some comments. One was Office US, Game of Thrones,
Yeah,
and
that's
Peaky
pretty
Blinders. Scrubs, Dragon Ball Z, Game of Thrones.
That's definitely new.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
me.
What,
I
Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't. I opened it up when I put the pictures up. I put like 20 different pictures up.
Yeah, like Chuck, Firefly, True Blood, Big Bang.
Firefly.
It's one of the
Planet
highest rated TV series.
Really?
Yeah.
Friends.
It has a cult following.
I suppose there's only like one season of it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't get it.
Friends, actually. I'm surprised that wasn't more highly featured.
Good shout, by the way, Nee.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Shani. He also said honourable mentions should go to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, 30 Rock, My Wife and Kids, 2.5 Men, Malcolm in the Middle, and Prison Break. So yeah.
Two and a Half Men ended way too shittily for me to consider it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the final 2 seasons were so subpar.
But thank you for your responses, though.
Yeah, and you can tweet us at YC Podcast 17, and we're on Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and SoundCloud under Average
Shameless
Critics.
plug.
Nah, we've got a plug, mate. Anyway, so
Plug.
thank you for reminding me of that.
Oh, God.
Hey, let's talk about the show Remind.
Oh Jesus!
Obi loves the segue. Loves the segue.
Why do they do it? Why do you know why they do re ... and then do mind? Is it actually to say remind?
I think it's like a play
on words.
Yeah. So I only saw the first episode, but so this is a Japanese. I think it's a Japanese. Oh, God, I hope it is. Kind of horror thriller show.
I don't know
where
if would you class it a horror?
Well, I reckon the first episode at least had elements of horror. Not necessarily it was not scary, but in the sense that there's 11 girls
and you don't know what's going to
they're
happen.
all
Really, yeah.
trapped in chairs around a dinner table,
Right.
and then all this weird stuff starts to happen, like rats come out, and there's just lots of screaming.
Right.
So I watched the first episode, and I pretty much predicted everything that would happen, and I read up on it, and I was right. So you've seen
all but one episode I've seen.
So how would you rate it?
Solid 6.
Oh really? Because
Yeah.
the reviews that I saw online trashed it.
Well, the thing is, it's 10 girls in a room, pretty much. 10 girls? I don't know.
What, for every single episode?
It's a
just
different. No. So a different girl each episode gets taken away. So that the lights go out and they just vanish,
Right.
and you're like,
What,
They-
teenagers?
Yeah.
yeah.
Are they just sat around the table
So they
all
haven't.
the time?
So yeah, they're always sat around the table. So they don't know why they're there to begin with, and then they realise they've all got their phones, but they've got no signal on the phones. And then they see a picture, and it reminds them of one of their school classmate. I can't remember her name. and basically they all used to be like friends together, and they used to have this. They used to do this thing. I can't remember what it was. It was a group. They used to do good deeds. They like Robin Hood of the like. They do good deeds or point out bad things and put it on social media kind of thing. And basically, the character who's not there became paralysed, and then they stopped being friends with her.
Right.
And they all had a different way of actually bullying her. Some just joined in, some ignored it and didn't do anything about it, and some really put fuel on the fire.
So it's basically a sort of go of 13 Reasons Why.
Well, there's elements.
But the thing is that the girl commits suicide. Yeah, fair enough. But if she's committed suicide, who's trapped them all?
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's all these clues around the room, and they're all being bare dumb about it, and they're not really looking. But like, you'd be a bit of a panic. And basically, whenever any of them have the realization that they're like, oh, tell us what you did that was wrong. The thing goes dark and they disappear.
Right.
Some of them later on, you just start to learn that they know they're going to disappear because their feet start filling up with water because their feet. So basically, I saw it as it was not imagery, but it's like they're meant to feel like the girl felt.
Right.
So they can't get up from their seat because their feet are stuck in the ground because she was paralysed.
Yeah.
Then you suddenly think there's an episode where there's like 5 of them left, and basically it's the girl's supposed best mate.
Right.
The smart one who keeps figuring out everything, a crazy one, and a really loud one, and you can tell they're in a relationship. And then this other one who's been bare jarring, and then someone in a red hooded mask comes in. Could barely walk properly on one leg. I find out it's their teacher, which one of them posted on this thing that they do, and basically insinuated that he was having a relationship with children when he wasn't. And so obviously, like, this thing got escalated, and then the more you go along the story, you find out that basically these kids like just ruin people's lives. Like, they discredited the girl who died's dad, even though he was only doing good deeds. Like, girls who like tried to sell themselves on the street, he would like pick them up, he would take them to a cafe, give them money, give them food, and like say to them, just go home.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a bit of money, just go home, don't do this ever again, it's bad. And they took pictures and like made it what it wasn't.
Made it seem like he was. Yeah.
So, and then I've got to the episode, basically, you find out that the girl who died has a sister, and there's a picture of this sister, and then the girl comes in the episode I'm in, and she was one of the girls at the table, and she claims to be the sister, and then that's where I'm up to.
Right.
But it's only 1 or 2 episodes left, I think.
Okay. Why did you stick with it?
Because I thought it was interesting. Like I thought like it must have a good plot, because this is like the thrill of it. I just wanted to know what was going on, and then I kind of just got halfway through, and I was like, I really want to just finish this now.
They're only like 25 minutes, aren't they?
Yeah. So it was like a quick series that I thought, why not?
You said it was. Is it in Japanese?
Yeah. Right. Subtitles. It's hard for me to. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but because it's just so much overacting, because it's just the girls screaming all the time. Like, ah! I'm just like, oh my god, it's so annoying, so grating. I watched 1 episode and I thought I'll Google the rest.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I was like, okay, well, I bet they've bullied someone and she's died and someone's getting revenge. Like, and I was right. But yeah, so again, it's quite formulaic, but I guess interesting. Good that Netflix is going to different kind of territories and taking risks and stuff.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't recommend for any of you to watch it, by the way.
I wasn't going.
Just find out. Yeah, well, okay.
I watched a subtitled horror the other day, which has been dubbed the scariest film of all time. It's called Veronica. It's on Netflix. It's Spanish, set in Madrid. It's again pretty formulaic. It's a young girl called Veronica who her mum works all the time, so she looks after her 3 younger siblings, and her dad's recently died, but she wants to contact him, so she does a Ouija board, and then like a demon, a spirit gets attached to her, and then kind of starts to prey on kind of her siblings, like they're kind of under threat, And yeah, so it's I thought it was quite good. I mean, it wasn't scary.
So it wasn't the scariest film of all time.
No, it's been hyped up.
What is the scariest film you've ever seen?
Scariest film I've ever seen was Silent Hill, which was I saw it when I was like young, and it was just so weird. Like all this weird stuff started to happen. And that was what was like really unsettling for me because like she's the mother loses her daughter in a place called Silent Hill, and then it's just like a normal ghost town, and then at night this like siren goes, and then all the walls start bleeding, and all these weird like creatures come out, and there's this massive kind of giant guy with an anvil for a head, and he's got this huge axe and stuff like so it's just all of that
was the film Silent Hill based on the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have a film for you, but I don't know if it off the top of my head. Someone said it to me. They said it was the most effed up film I've seen.
Okay.
So I thought Clem will probably like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to your dad about Reanimator and stuff, don't I? He loves those exploitation horrors. But so Veronica's so I mean it's different to kind of your standard Hollywood horror in the sense that the scares were not jump scares, which is what I really appreciated about this film. Because when you go and watch Insidious, like they're not actually scary because it's just a loud noise that makes you jump.
Jumpy, yeah.
So I mean that's just cheap, isn't it?
Yeah.
So but this was like unsettling in the sense that like the camera would pan around and like you would see the figure.
Right.
It's not like a jump and it cuts to it, but you could see it, and then the camera keeps panning around, and that it's going to get closer and closer.
Yeah.
So there's that you see it, but
the anticipation.
Exactly. So yeah, I thought it was quite good. It wasn't particularly atmospheric, which I think was to its detriment because you couldn't, when the creature was coming towards her, it was like okay, yeah. It's coming towards her, but there was no like oh shit, scary.
There was no imminent danger.
No, but again, I predicted the ending of it as well because I thought because it's presumed throughout the whole film that this creature is a separate creature from Veronica, but it turns out that it is her.
Right.
So she's the one who has been doing all these things.
Right.
But again, I know you're going to hate this phrase, but it was kind of coming of age in the sense that she's 15 and they make a point that she's never had a period before,
right,
which I think is quite old to not have one. Obviously I don't really know much about menstruation,
no.
But and then she does the Ouija board, and then like she has her first period, and then that's when like all the like dark stuff starts happening. So like that's quite a common trope in horrors, like women when they reach a certain kind of sexual maturity, like they become dangerous. So like there's a film called Carrie, which is kind of similar.
The one who goes to her prom and kills people.
Yeah. That's about her when she reaches kind of sexual maturation, and the imagery of blood, and you can even tell in the film like Veronica wears white throughout the first bit, and then after her period she wears black, so it's always like dark and like angry and violent. So I guess on that level it worked quite well, but it wasn't scary, but it was a good solid horror. So I would recommend that if you can take Spanish subtitles.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess we're not going to Scream on Team Monday.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
Yeah, wasn't it? Oops. Oh, you told me. I thought you told me about it last week.
I'm saying there is one. I don't know when it is.
Right.
I'm not going though because the last one was rubbish.
What was the last one? Tonya.
The Ritual.
Scream.
Oh, Scream. Oh, right. Oh, I might go and see that.
But as you said, Tonya. I did watch Tonya.
Yeah?
I thought it was really good actually. I really liked it.
I really enjoyed it.
It's about Ice Skater.
Oh yeah, with
Tonya Harding.
in that.
Yeah, I like honestly that last scene at the end. I felt so sorry for her.
What bit where she was pleading to?
Yeah, she was like, "Don't do that to me. You might as well just kill me." Kind of stuff. It's like,
so explain the story because I think you might have spoken about it when we did.
So like I like honestly, when I watch films, I don't remember what anyone said about the film, which is quite a good thing because it didn't spoil anything for me. Although the only thing I could remember was the gunshot thing where she had basically the film is of this girl. She's aged like 3 or 4, and her mum pushed her to start skating. Or she really loves skating. Her mum gets her to skate, and she then you see her as a teenager and she's been skating for years and she can just do like all the tricks and flicks and skills, but she's got a real attitude problem and a real bad look about her.
She's like white trash, isn't she?
Yeah, and so basically she goes into these competitions, she does fantastic, she's probably the best performer, but she won't get the top marks because of the way she is and where she's come from pretty much.
Yeah.
And basically, I think you go on a few years and then she hasn't really changed her look because she can't really afford to, and her mum's, every penny her mum gets is on feeding her and paying for her skating lessons, isn't it? I think, if I'm right in thinking, she suddenly goes to another competition, she does the triple axel spin, which no one can do, or no one ballsy enough to do, and then she gets the top marks, and then she gets recognised a bit. Meanwhile, the other story to it is that she's got this relationship with this guy. He seems all nice and sweet, and then he hits her, and they carry on having a relationship. He hits her a lot more. They get married. He still keeps hitting her. Right. They break up, don't they? After eventually.
Yeah.
And then she aims to go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Then she gets a death threat, and then decides not to go to the Olympics. Right. And then it's found out, and then it's assumed that it was her mate who did it.
She thought it was her rival called Nancy.
Who was actually her mate. Right? Nancy Kerrigan's also her mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were friends.
They were friends.
The death threat, she was already going to the Olympics before the death threat happened. The death threat didn't stop her from going to the Olympics. It just stopped her from practicing.
Yeah, but she got back together with her husband because
to give
she wanted
the better image. Yeah, because they were saying that she asked one of the coaches why they still don't give her the top marks, and he was like, "Your image, you need a good family image. Like that's what we want from our. Like we don't want to portray America as not this homely kind of environment." So she gets back with him. He does anger management. Doesn't hit her for ages. And he wants to get back at Nancy, and he wants to. He has this plan with his mate to send Nancy a death threat, so she will be a bit distracted or won't go to the Olympics, kind of thing. And then, obviously, Tonya will win, and then basically his mate.
His mate is so deluded. He thinks he's like this fat slob, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm ex-Israeli special forces," or something. You know, he's like, just complete bullshit.
Yeah. And basically, he makes a plan behind the guy's back. To be fair, and he
allegedly behind the guy.
Allegedly, like this is all like point of view stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And like, because Tonya says the guy hit her, but the guy claims he didn't hit her. But then I'm assuming he did hit her because he did go to prison.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
He went to prison for
not for hitting her. I don't think.
For the assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
I thought he went to prison before for a bit.
Did he?
I thought he did. I thought he went to prison for 18 months.
No, he got 18 months for his involvement in the Nancy Kerrigan thing. That's why at the end she says, I'll do 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I'm gonna rewatch that, but I'm pretty sure there's a bit in between that he went to prison as well. But I could be wrong, to be fair. And basically, the mate decides to break Nancy's leg.
Right.
Instead of doing the letter. And then there's this whole thing like, we're not going to tell the FBI. Tonya didn't know. Well, Tonya knew about the letters, but I don't think she really knew about it. Like, they would say it to her as she was ice skating, and she'd be like, yeah, whatever, kind of. That's how I pictured it. Right. She just went with it.
Yeah.
And because she had written down where Nancy was skating and just thrown it away, well, this is we don't know if she did know or didn't, but the story portrays it as if she didn't really know.
Right.
But because there was this post-it with where Nancy trains, because she found out for the guy to send a letter, and basically found out that the bloke like planned this all so that all the ice skaters would get security.
Right.
Then that bloke spills the beans to the FBI and says it's the bloke that Tonya's with, and then
I think his name's Jeff Galooly or something.
And then Jeff is supposedly not saying anything, but he then throws Tonya under the bus.
Right.
And it all ends basically that Tonya still goes to the Olympics because there's this big thing about like publicity of the rivalry between her and Nancy, but she doesn't get a podium finish, does she?
No.
And Nancy comes second, even though Nancy was pretty rubbish by the sounds of it. Or from Tonya's point of view, Nancy was rubbish.
Right.
And did Tonya do the triple axel? I don't think she. I don't know. She wasn't right in the mindset for it.
Yeah.
And then basically, she gets banned from ice skating for life. The two blokes get 18 months in prison. She pleads to say, give me 18 months. I'd rather do 18 months and then skate again. And the guy's just like, just stop. Like, you've got...
Yeah.
And then she turns out she decides to go to be a boxer at the end of it.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
And this is based on a true story as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she was a boxer.
Yeah, I felt really sorry for Tonya Harding throughout the whole film, because obviously she's had a really tough upbringing. Her mum's really tough on her.
Oh, and her mum as well. What? Her mum. So her mum goes like, you genuinely think like, I thought for a moment like her mum was being well nice. Like her mum's an arse throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
And she goes around to see Tonya, and so she's like, oh, I'm really proud of you, kind of thing. Like hugs her, and you genuinely think for a moment she's giving her a genuine hug, and then she puts her hand in her pocket and clicks something, and it's the tape recorder like trying, and then she goes, "Did you know about it?"
Right, yeah,
and then she's like,
Yeah.
"Why would you ask me that?"
Yeah.
kind of thing, and then she's like, and then she finds the tape recorder, and she's like, "Get out," and like the mum's like gonna throw her under the bus.
Yeah.
That's mad.
And domestic violence was really uncomfortable as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so kind of casually portrayed.
Right.
And, like, obviously then she's thinking, oh, you know, sometimes she thinks it's her fault sort of thing, and she just puts up with it. So there's really good, like, strong performances through all of them.
All
like
of them, yeah.
Margot Robbie, Sebastian Stan, and Alison Janney. I wouldn't be surprised if Alison Janney won Best Supporting Actress
probably.
tonight.
They looked like they did it really well. Like you could see, like that's the funny thing is that because that also reminds me of the bit I'm about to say reminds me of the bit from what's it, The Disaster Artist as well. Like there was a scene where obviously like the fat bloke's talking to the FBI agent, and he's saying all about the military stuff, and then they actually have the scenes from the actual FBI interview from where it really happened. And it's like spot on.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's weird. Like the guy was actually chatting so much crap. Like he was like Black Ops undercover kind of like person.
I liked the framing of the
wasn't.
film though, in the sense that it's like kind of mockumentary, but kind of, you know, so that they have the talking heads of these three people,
right?
And then, you know, like Jeff would say, oh yeah, and then she shot me with a gun, and then you see her shooting, and she's like, this never happened, or, you know, so it's quite comical.
Breaking the wall, wasn't it?
Yeah, and at the it says like based on the true story or the subjective opinions of people, blah blah blah. So basically, it's like, yeah, it's a true story, but obviously everyone has their side to the story.
Yeah.
So I found that quite good.
Yeah.
But okay, well, do you want to tell us about The Room?
Yeah, can do. Also,
Well,
I'll get Tonya 7.5. I was thinking about 8, but then I was like, nah, 7.5 will do.
Cool.
Disaster Artist, blimey. Oh gosh. Well, I totally forgot most of the parts of The Room, and then I rewatched that thing and it just made me crack up.
You rewatched The Room?
No, I forgot most of it, and then watching The Disaster Artist reminded me of all the funny bits from The Room. Have you seen The Room? Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't seen it. But I know.
It's like, it's so funny but stupid and weird.
Tell me apart, Lisa.
Like James Franco, spot on. Like honestly, like he did that really well, and even Dave Franco did really well. But I mean, Dave Franco just had to be a normal person, really, so it wasn't too difficult. It's basically like this storyline. Like they're at an acting school together, and Dave Franco's character, what's his name?
Greg.
Greg's a bit nervous. He wants to be an actor, but he's not really fulfilling his role as a person trying to become an actor. And then there's what's his name?
Tommy
Wiseau.
Wiseau.
So it's based on the story of the making of The Room. Yeah.
And then Tommy Wiseau like just gets up and just chats a load of bum about nothing, and then and he's like, "You're all the villains. I'm not the villain." Because like, oh no, that's another scene. Basically, and he just walks out as if like nothing's happened, kind of thing. And then Greg goes up to him, and is like, "Oh, like, can you teach me? Like, I want to be more confident and stuff." And then basically they form a little friendship. Tommy's like, "Oh, why don't you come to LA with me?" So he up and leaves, and then the mum's a bit like suspicious because Tommy claims to be 21, yeah, and he looks like he's
same
about
age
40.
as you, Greg.
Yeah, he's so like, it's like he's trying to put on a persona, because he's obviously not from
America,
New Orleans, and it's like, but Greg's mum, because Greg is young, and Greg's mum's like, "Are you sure you're okay going with this guy?"
Yeah, it's a bit grooming.
It was like almost grooming, but. And you kind of get the hint, like, I don't mean to like. No, it's not offending the performance, but like, there's a chunk of that film where you think, right, there is like serious like grooming going on here, because, what I thought there was, because like almost like Tommy gets really like beat up by the fact that Greg wants to leave like the flat, and he's also like really like upset that Greg's getting a performance in another part, and I thought that was really like
Yeah.
the controlling side of Tommy, like having this guy under his thumb, like,
yeah.
to then, because he's not like constricted him, but he's like got him wrapped around his own finger, really, like
Yeah.
whatever he wants, it's okay.
Yeah.
And like even some people say to him, why do you have this like goofball with you still, like you're here, like do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And basically it's just so ridiculous, like for the first part, like you're not meant to, well, most firms don't buy their own equipment, they rent it.
Yeah.
He buys it all.
Right.
He gets this guy, they say you can use our equipment, you can buy the equipment if you use our studio as the place to film.
Right.
And he's like, that's fine. They give him staff, and he said, doesn't even ask them what their vision is. He doesn't really ask them where they come from or how much they want. He just says, yeah, you're all hired. A bit more thing is that Greg and Tommy aren't getting really any parts in anything, and then they decide, Greg's like, well, Tommy, why don't you make a film?
Yeah.
And Tommy's like, yeah, I could do that. And then he spends days making this
Shit film.
Well, he makes it, and Greg reads it, and Greg's like, yeah, that's really good.
That's what I was thinking. So
He's like, it's really good. So I don't know if the script was so much different to
Yeah.
what they did.
I think what I got is that he just really wanted to have a part and be one of
Yeah,
the main.
because he was the main character in
Or
it.
maybe
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
just trying to be nice because he didn't think they would
Yeah.
actually make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like, as the film goes on, you can tell all the staff are getting a bit pissed off. And then Seth, oh my god, there's so many famous faces in it. Like
Yeah.
Seth Rogen's in it, Zac Efron's in it, the goofy guy in the League's in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Andre from the
Yeah,
Andre,
even Rafi from the League's in it.
Oh,
Bob Odenkirk's in it.
hmm?
Bob Odenkirk's in it.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. The guy who plays in the Hunger Games, the guy that Jennifer Lawrence.
Josh Hutchinson.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
think that's
But
his
Zac Efron has like.
Peter Gazer.
Yeah, Zac Efron has like the most tiny part in it, yeah. And he's just like, there's a scene in the room where he's like grilling someone. He's like, give me my money, you owe me for the drugs, that kind of bit. And like, it's just so unnecessary but funny to put that in there. But like, Seth Rogen goes to the bank and like gives him the check, and he doesn't expect it to be cashed. And then the bank's, he gets the money, he's like, oh, yeah, I didn't expect that to be cashed. And the guy's like, this guy's got like pretty much unlimited money. Is what he...
Tommy.
Yeah.
Right.
And like no one knows how he's got this money, like
No.
in real life or in the film. You
Yeah.
don't know how he's got this
He's
money,
just a mystery.
where he's got it from. Like he spent $6 million on this film.
6 million.
Yeah,
Jesus.
like, and the film originally didn't make anything. He had a billboard up for like, was it 3 years or something?
3 years.
Yeah, like with a number which went directly to his flat,
Jesus.
and it's just like mad. And
But
then,
did you feel sorry for him at all?
so like
You did.
I did at the very end. Like I don't think I did when they were calling him a villain. But at the same time I was like, well, they're calling you a villain, but they're not saying you're actually a villain. They're saying you look the part of a villain, and that you could have a position, a acting role. But his dream was to be
The hero.
the hero.
American Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he got this dream from, and this is the problem. Like, I think this is the problem with Tommy Wiseau in just real life in general. No one knows enough about him. No one knows really where he wants to go, and it's just he's just odd.
But he was also portrayed quite villainously in the sense that he was controlling. He was very aggressive.
But I think the fact of the matter is, if I was to put £100 towards the podcast and you guys put nothing towards it, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna probably take your ideas, but like inevitably I'll put all the money towards it kind of thing.
there's a difference between that and being like.
Yeah,
you know,
he was dick.
he was
though.
a dick.
Yeah, he was a dick. Like so.
And he was making like people really uncomfortable because he wanted to film sex scenes and like
Yeah.
you know, and
And-
the woman was really not comfortable with it.
And she was quite young at the time. She was like 19 or something. And basically he was like terrorising her for a pimple. And he was like, yeah, a freckle. And he was like, get that covered up, it's disgusting kind of thing. And Greg was like, no, don't be so rude kind of thing. And then like she was like, I'll do the sex scene, but not actually have sex. And then he started like dry humping her, but his dick was like at her belly button.
Yeah, she was like, "Do you want to move down?" He's like, "No."
No, I don't want it. And then it took him, so the really iconic scene where he's like, I did not hit her. I did not hit her. And he throws the ball down and he's like, hi,
Hi,
Greg.
Mark.
Oh, hi, yeah, hi, Mark, or whatever, yeah. I can't remember it. But that took like 100 takes. Until, this is the mad bit though, that I thought was so crazy, until Greg gave him a bottle.
Yeah.
They didn't have the bottle in the scene originally, but Greg gave him the bottle and then he
Oh,
managed
really?
to do it.
That is weird.
He did explain some other bit as well, but it was a bit mumbo.
It was it was funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good film.
Funny film. Probably give it 7.5 again. It was really sad at the end because obviously like Tommy's doesn't like you don't get the idea that Tommy thinks it's bad like at the beginning. Like no one's laughing at the beginning. Everyone's a bit serious.
Yeah.
And then they're chatting away. Some of the actors like, why did we do that? It's gonna be a flop kind of thing. And then people just start laughing at points because they just think it's a comedy.
Yeah.
And it is quite laughable. Like when you think back at it, it's like some of the scenes in that film were actually dreadful.
Yeah.
And then he gets really upset at the end, and he like, or just before the end, and he like walks out. And then Greg goes after him, and Greg's kind of like, don't be upset because like it hasn't failed. Like people are laughing, they're enjoying the film. It's not bad. It's like kind of thing. And then he comes back in and claims it was always a comedy kind of thing rather than a serious film. But yeah, and then got his cult following a few years later, didn't it? And then they did the side by side of how James Franco did it and how it was in the room, and it was near spot on all of them. It was really good. But that they made really good points, which I think we all made it as well in the film. Like there was no real context to like why Greg's character betrayed his friendship with Tommy, or like because he was like, I'm not gonna do it, and then all of a sudden he just suddenly slept with Tommy's wife in the film.
It's kind of.
And then the mum had cancer, and then he didn't have cancer.
Doesn't mention it again.
Yeah.
It's similar to just makes no fucking sense. And then there's no context for anything. Just like mute.
Yeah. Well, there was a scene in it, where Greg's telling Tommy about this really like bad situation, and Tommy just keeps laughing. That's so funny, Greg.
Mark. It's just like...
Oh yeah, Mark, not Greg. God,
and then they give like, stop laughing. She's like,
he's audible. Let's put it that.
How much did The Room actually make?
Now, it's like in the cinemas every week.
Is it?
Yeah.
In Prince Charles Cinema in London, they have like...
Oh, I thought it was it Prince Charles?
In London, they have like fan screenings quite regularly. I went to one of them, and Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero were there, and he's really weird.
Tommy Wiseau was actually there.
Yeah, he did a Q&A and basically just didn't answer anyone's questions. But he would just talk about different stuff, and people would ask him questions, and he just wouldn't.
Did everyone chuck the
spoons? Yep, chuck spoons. Yeah.
Did you get given spoons to chuck?
No, but people bought their own in. Yeah, so I think it's definitely made its money back, like more than 6 million. Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
Obes, what you been watching?
I started watching a TV show called 7 Seconds on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one we're watching? Or are we watching 7 minutes? No, 7 seconds. That's the one you were talking to me about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's 7 Seconds about?
It is about... sorry.
Brutal.
It's about so basically this policeman gets in a car accident with a young black boy, and he calls his buddies, I suppose, his police friends, for backup, and they kind of like they because the kid he's like hit this kid like pretty badly, and he's like bleeding on the side of the road, and they kind of like just deduced that he's dead. Let's just cover it up and go away because even though it was an accident, when people see white policeman, black kid, like it's going to be shouted as racist, and he's going to go to prison, and like all policemen in that department are going to get tarnished with that brush, blah 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 blah. So they decide to try and cover it up, and basically I'm only 4 episodes in. I think it's 10 episodes in total, but basically it's just the parents of this kid like trying to, obviously the kid gets found, and he's not dead. He's still just like barely hanging on.
Oh, right.
But like you would have thought that because they left him lying there in that ditch for like several hours, so maybe if they got to him sooner, he might have obviously. Well, sorry, spoiler. He dies in like the 3rd episode, I think, or maybe 4th episode. He dies. Yeah. So like you think, he might have lived, and so like these policemen were banking on the fact that the kid would be dead. So like obviously there was no sort of chance of it to come back and bite them in the bum because obviously there was no witnesses.
Yeah.
But turns out there was a girl, I think like a runaway girl was watching from afar, so she knows what happened, but they haven't managed, from what I've seen, they haven't managed to get anything out of her yet. And yeah, so that's one side of the story, and then the guy who run over the kid, he's just like feeling like super guilty, and like throwing up and shit, and then his guilt like turns into anger, so he starts like switching on people and stuff like that. He like almost strangles his wife's cousin or wife's sister or something.
He's
like
also got a baby coming on the way. Or
Yeah.
on the way.
Yeah, he has a baby, and so like he's quite like straight as an arrow, like as a policeman, and these people who he's become involved with in the department are quite corrupt. So like they get paid off by gangs, I'm assuming, to like allow shit to go on in the city and stuff like that. I think it's set in New Jersey. So he like at first he's like they're like trying to bring him into the gang as like, so like you're one of us, so like you can't snitch on us because you're doing the same things that we do, sort of thing. So he's like, oh no, I'm not gonna do it. And then eventually, in the end, I think he gets concerned that he's like not gonna be able to look after his child like only on like one paycheck. So tries to get obviously to do a bit of money on the side. He starts to get involved with all that stuff. So then that's that. He's got like an abusive dad. That's a little bit of whatever's. And what else happens? He's got an abusive dad. The other side of it is that. So basically, there's a lawyer and a detective who I reckon are going to get together at some point during the series, but we'll see. But the lawyer, she's like a massive like drunk, basically.
Doesn't seem to go right for her, does it, either?
Exactly. She doesn't seem to be a very good lawyer. She like moves like messing up cases and case numbers and shit like that. And they give her this case because they don't think it's like, they just think it's just like a traffic accident. Turns out to be like a homicide sort of thing. So like they're trying to find out what happened, and people the policeman tried to frame some old homeless guy for the murder, but that didn't work because he had an alibi. So now those detectives are just trying to figure it out from the other side. And then another side of it is obviously the family, the mum and the dad, this family trying to deal with, and the uncle trying to deal with the fact that their son has died. So like, and I think they're quite like avid churchgoers. So I think now the mum's starting to question belief in God. The dad is obviously like, he's like trying to, I don't want to say move on, but he's trying to like deal with it. And I think I suppose he's kind of dealing with it better than the mum is dealing with it. She's kind of just like super down, like not eating, stuff like that. And
the uncle's in the army as well.
The uncle's in the army. Yeah, he just come back from the army, and he's obviously torn up about it, and he hasn't got a job because he's struggling to get a job to try and help pay his way in the house and pay for hospital abuse, funeral bills, and all that stuff. So he tries to get money from one of his friends who's like the drug kingpin. I think his name's Messiah in the TV show.
The Messiah.
Yeah. So like he gets money and helps them pay for stuff, and that really angers his brother, the dad, and he comes in and they start fighting, like scuffing in the house, and he kicks him out of the house, and that's pretty much as far as I've gone.
Is it good?
It's pretty good, yeah. I'm quite enjoying it. So
Do you
far.
care for the characters?
I feel sorry for the family, the one who lost it. One weird thing actually that I just remembered is that I don't know, it might be just the second episode or right towards the end of the first episode, is that you don't see the kid's face or body until either right at the end or the start of the second episode. I don't know why they decided to do that. But
I feel like it's the start. It might be the start of the episode.
Start of the second episode.
Yeah, because I don't remember I
Yeah.
didn't see his face at all during episode 1.
Yeah, that's an odd
It
one.
was strange.
But I think it's to do maybe a bit more mystery behind it, whether he was really alive or if he looked like he was going to be alive for much longer, kind of thing.
Is there quite a lot of like racial politics, between like white and black, or is it?
It's kind of, yeah, because these like white policemen, they go like patrolling the streets and stuff like that, and obviously everyone they stop over is like black and stuff like that. And he does, one of the head of the corrupt policemen does refer to them as animals, although it's a bit ambiguous if he's saying black people or if he's saying drug dealers.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It's good though. I would recommend watching it. Obviously, I'm not at the end yet, so I don't know how it ends. But
What's it called? 7 seconds.
7 seconds, yeah.
Netflix.
Is that just how long it took for them? Is
Well,
that the incident?
That's
is
the
7
accident,
seconds?
isn't it? 7 seconds.
Right. Okay.
I'm sure there's loads of other bits in it.
Interesting. And you watched Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping,
Decent.
which is good advice for anybody. So
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Again, character names never stick with me.
Connor, that's the guy.
Connor and
So Andy Samberg plays Connor.
yeah, basically he's in a band, and the band disband, and Connor does really well on his first album.
Style Boys.
Yeah, Style Boys disband. Well, one of the Style Boys leaves, one of them stays and becomes the DJ, but isn't really a DJ because Connor tells him what to do.
He just pushes play on that.
Yeah, it just
Right.
yeah.
So it's the Lonely Island. They do
okay.
this film.
So all three of them are in Lonely Island.
Yeah, they are the only Lonely
I
Island.
didn't even know the other one was part of it.
And it's a mockumentary about Style
stars.
Boys and Connor doing his solo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, Connor's second album is So basically, he made it big because he did this one verse,
The catchphrase
the
verse.
catchphrase verse, and it basically said every catchphrase going
Right,
as part
okay.
of this verse. And like all these they get all these celebrities to say how amazing it was,
Yeah.
and like
Right, okay, yeah.
There's so many cameos in it.
Yeah,
There's like
it's-
Simon Cowell. He's like, oh my god, I wish I'd thought of that. We could have kept One Direction together. And like Usher's like, oh my god, the Style Boys are the only reason I wanted to come into hip hop. And like, you know,
Right, okay.
there's just so many. Like Justin
Yeah.
Timberlake
Yeah, but
plays
Justin- yeah,
this
but
like,
Justin-
chef.
Justin Timberlake, I would say in real life is actually like another member of
Lonely Island.
because he's in loads of their things and does loads of cameos.
Yeah.
So,
Oh really?
Yeah.
But it's just like because he plays this chef and he's like singing and Connor's like, stop singing, you're so shit. Just stick to cooking.
Yeah. And then like there's the whole film about like how Connor's trying to like redeem himself or get the album. No, how he's trying to get the album like more.
Yeah.
And basically they go to this woman and she makes it so all the appliances made by this company play Connor's music out of their appliance
Right,
without
okay.
anyone asking it to or
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
yes to it.
Yeah.
And it gets like,
It's like you open
bad
the fridge and
reaction.
it's
Yeah.
And his songs are dreadful as well. They're so offensive. Like one of them's called Equal Rights, and it's like, I'm not gay, but if I was, I would want equal rights. And,
And he said, yeah. And he keeps saying, and he says, I'm not gay, like every now and again through each of the verses.
yeah.
Right,
And then
okay.
he would be like, he would try and say manly,
Yeah.
not manly. Yeah,
So he'd be talking about like, oh, why can't two men just get married? Hot wings, you know?
yeah, it's so weird. Don't know what makes that like straight, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's so.
But it's
oh
it's
my
funny,
God,
isn't
it's
it?
so funny.
And then eventually, he has these really big concerts that are really over the top, and he meets up with the Style Boys, says sorry because basically he does absolutely nothing in it.
Right.
He just sings. And
He's just the face of it,
the
isn't he?
face of it. But then he does put it all together as well. Like he's the person that everyone puts the ideas and he'll put it together.
Right.
Gets an opportunity to sing solo. He says he wants to do it with the Style Boys. Does this big concert. And then Justin Timberlake has his little solo, but in a duck suit, and that no one knows who he is.
Oh, right, okay.
But they're like, that's amazing. But like, and that's pretty much it. But it's really funny,
It's so
comical
funny.
bits.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I've watched it like 2 or 3 times and it just
Oh,
cracks
yeah.
me up. And I even have some of the songs on my Spotify playlist because they're just, I'm just like on the tube and like there's the Bin Laden song comes on and I just start laughing. It's so funny. And I find that the lyrics are really clever as well. Like they're funny, but like the way that he puts the song about Bin Laden is basically how his girlfriend wants him to fuck her like America fucked Bin Laden, and like all the metaphors and stuff that he uses is really funny.
Yeah.
And I
What's
just
it called?
pop star, never stop, never stopping.
Netflix as well.
No,
I've got it on DVD. I can lend it to you. Yeah.
but yeah.
So does anyone want to mention anything else before we
could-
depart?
Wait, how long we got? We've got a few minutes. Have you watched the latest episode of Black Lightning?
I think I am up to date. It's where Tobias kills his dad, right?
No, it's one after. There's
One
one after.
after.
Oh, there's one after that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I thought-
one just happened. So you're like, because you're watching on Netflix, you're always gonna be 1 week behind.
Yeah, but I looked at it the other day and it was on a break, but maybe I just.
Oh, maybe you do. Maybe you go on a 2 week break while we go on 1 week.
No, it's 1 week. So next week you'll watch the episode that was on last week. You're still just 1 week behind.
Yeah. But did it break for you after
Yeah.
the?
Yeah.
Right.
So same time you had the break, same time we had a break as well.
So I should be up to date in a sense.
No, so
I'm
no.
not.
So we had a break. Then we've had an episode, and you've had the break while we've had the episode.
Yeah.
So next week you'll have the episode we just seen.
Right. Okay. New episode coming Tuesday. Yeah. It's when he's getting headaches. That's the last one that's on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Oh, I won't talk about that, and we'll leave it for another time.
Is it good though?
I'm getting a bit frustrated with it. Not the film. I like it, but I'm what's his name?
Gamby.
Gamby. He's just annoying me now.
He's not a good actor, that guy.
It's not that. It's just that I think his characters. It's just
I think
It
you
was-
need to know a bit more about
yeah,
his background.
yeah,
Okay. So he's getting a bit more mysterious.
Yeah. I think so.
yes, 100%.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Well, I'll watch that on Tuesday then when
Yeah.
it comes out. Cool. Well, thanks very much for listening to episode 45. We will kind of discuss all the Oscar winners next week. and so hopefully get out as one of you. And then so you can tweet us at YC Podcast 17. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, iTunes and SoundCloud under Your Average Critics, and join in next week.
Bon voyage.